How we doing, guys? Today we're going to be learning how to mix up your blues playing rockabilly stuff, how to move around the neck. We're actually going to use this exercise. Let me show you the exercise now, and I'll talk briefly after that about some other stuff. But check this out. We're going to use this. This is going to be our template. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't play that right at the beginning, it's because the thing that I played at the beginning, I'm actually going to teach you that as well. So stick around for the end of the lesson. I'll walk you through and just give you some advice on getting that rockabilly picking flavor as you move around. So this is going to be there's going to be a lot happening. This is not the hardest lesson. It's going to be fairly simple. Okay, there's not going to be anything too challenging. So I encourage all levels of guitar players to have a go. Of course, if you're more advanced, it might be the shapes and the ideas that are of more interest to you. So before I start teaching you that, I just want to quickly mention I've got a podcast now. I did it with Death Ray Cat, who is another YouTuber. He's a guitar teacher, putting out great videos. We got chatting, really connected, and I thought this would be a great person to do my first podcast with, and it went fantastic. It was very enjoyable. I feel I'm a lot less awkward doing a podcast, for example, than these lessons because there's no one else in the room. I feel like I'm talking to myself. It's really difficult, okay? But the podcasts, I feel like they flow better. And also, don't forget about the Patreon. I know I mention it every time, but if you are a fan of the channel and you really enjoy it, just for a couple dollars a month, you can contribute, and it makes a massive difference to me. It really does help out. In fact, the days that I spend doing these videos, my son's in childcare, and that pretty much wipes out most of the profit, believe it or not. But hey, it's a long-term thing, and obviously I'm passionate about it, and I really enjoy it. So if you want to be a part of that, and if you'd like to gain access to the transcriptions as well, and there's a community growing through that Patreon. There's 130 members now. There's a Discord. It's a great group. It's really cool. There's a lot of great stuff happening. I'm rambling now. I apologize, but check it out, and I won't karate chop the microphone. That's not conditional. They're just, those two things were exclusive. But so what did I do before when I said, hey, this is the exercise that you're going to be doing? That went like this. We play an E7, okay? So that's first fret there on the third string. You could use your third finger or your pinky on the second string, on the third fret, and the open first string there. Check out my lesson on simple twangy chords. You'll get a bit of a background on triads. It might relate and help. We're sticking with these strings because it's got that twangy sound again. So we've got the E7, and that's a G sharp, a D, and an E, which is the third flat 7 of the chord, and the open first string is the root note. Then we're going to play an A7. So we've got a G, which is the flat 7 of an A, C sharp, which is the major third, and the open there, which is the fifth. I had to think about that. So that's an A7. We play the E7 again. Now, we actually just play a B7 by going up one fret with the third finger to the fourth fret, and bar your first finger right across. Okay? So you can use these in any style, by the way. It's just blues. But obviously we're going to lean towards rockabilly. So that's E7, A7, E7, and B7. We're going to do it again, except we're going to do it from an E7 now. So, from an E7, from this E7. Now we do it from here. So we get the B, the D, and the G sharp of an E7. Okay? We're going to do this version of an A7. Okay, so second, third fret. You can even play on the fourth string if you like. And then we're going to play the E7 again. This time we do the B7 here. So our third variation now, we're going to play an E7 here. So E, G sharp, B. Okay, D, G sharp, and B. That's the flat 7, major third, and the 5. We don't actually need the root note, and we don't necessarily need the fifth either. If you start figuring out how to make chords yourself, and you want to play a 7 chord, for example, a dominant 7, these are all dominant 7s, 7, dominant 7, same thing. You just drop the first note or the fifth note from the chord if you understand what I'm saying. And you'll still get the flavor of a dominant 7 if you have the 3rd and the 7. Really, really useful information there if you can follow that, okay? If not, ask some questions because it helps me make more videos, okay? Gives me ideas. So we did the E7 from here. We do an A7 from here. E7 from here again. And then the B7 from here. So let me show you these two, the A7 and the B7. So the A7, 6, 8th fret, first finger on the 5th fret. Okay, and then obviously this E7 is the, as I said, the 7, the 9, and the 7. And then the B7 here. So that's the 8th fret, 10th fret, and 7th fret. So we're actually playing, in these two chords, we're playing a third of the chord. So in this case, a D sharp against a B. The A there is the flat 7 against a B. And the root note's there. And same goes here, third, flat 7 and root note for A, okay? And then the last variation, we do an E7 like this, which you might recognize that I'm just recycling the shapes we've used lower down for the different chords. So we've got an E, then we've got a G sharp, that's the third, there's the flat 7, just like that. And then we do this really clever chord. This is a little Chet Atkins, Les Paul, this sort of thing. So I've got the flat 7 here. I've got the root note there, so that's an A, and the third there. So we had 9, 9, 10, root third, flat 7, root note of A, C sharp, so this is the A7. Then we go back to the E7, and then we do the same thing we did from A up 2 frets. We do our B7 just like that. Okay. I've put it a little bit out of tune with my enthusiasm, but hopefully you guys can live with it. It's not too bad. So, what's the point of using all of these? Well, when you listen to guys like Cliff Gallup, Scotty Moore, etc., all the greats, they have some understanding of these ideas. So when you hear those things where they're going, they've got places to go. Believe me, they're not pulling notes out of thin air. They've spent time working on developing ways to play their chords further up and sliding into them and moving them around. So yeah, the examples are endless. I mean, I can just muck around with that. Oh, then I could go. I'm making a hash of that, but with a little bit more practice, you could probably do a better job. So what we do is we take these chords and you use them however you like. You don't have to play them all in one position at a time. We could beg and borrow. We could even play right up here, for example. And I actually just used the one shape and moved it around to the different chords. We can mix it up even more. So I'm just totally improvising it. I really should have put a bit more thought in before. Now, I hope you're enjoying this. That's all the chords that we're learning. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through the example I played at the start that was a little more simpler than what I was trying to attempt before. So I played an E7, I picked the third string, then the first string, then I picked the second string, then I picked up on the first string, just like that. Then I took the A7 that I played up here, just like that. And then I took the E7 and instead of playing it back here, I played the one from here. And then I played my B7 from here, the last example. So I'm each time I'm actually picking third string, first string, second string, first string, okay? So then we play the A7 from here. Then I play the E7 from here and I pick again. So third string, second string, first string, and then. So see how we took a somewhat complicated idea with the left hand by mixing up simple ideas and keeping a simple right hand pattern, but moving those chords around. It just sounds delightful. I don't know why, of all words, that's the one that came to me. Not particularly rock and roll, but very rockabilly. Not the word delightful, what we just played. So it's to me, that's kind of a huge part of that rockabilly rhythm sound. And it's blues, which is rockabilly. That's pretty much everything there, guys. So I will take you out with me just noodling around. I'll try again and see how I go. But yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll stop there while my luck's good. Guys, thanks for watching. Check out my next video. Check out the podcast. Check out the Patreon. Stay tuned for the next one, guys. Have a great weekend, depending on when you're watching this. You know what? Even if you're watching it on a Monday, hopefully next weekend is really good. I'll see you later.